Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight, no ban. Another environmental group says no way to the $5.5 billion O-ban deal. What's the point? The BCA president expresses concerns over a downtown development. And will the DNA join forces with the PLP? We've got the answer to that coming up tonight on Our News.
Our News is brought to you by Alive.
Happy Easter, Bahamas, and welcome to Our News. I'm Jared Higgs. Topping news tonight. Another environmental group is coming out against the controversial multi-billion-dollar O-ban deal, stating that it has no place here in the country. Giorgio Bain tells us more.
Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis raised more than a few eyebrows last week when he admitted that as the minister responsible for Best Commission, he was not sure if the environmental impact assessment of the O-ban Energies project on Grand Bahama has begun. Executive Director of BRIEF, Kazarina McKinney-Lambert, says she feels like the environment is being neglected.
Well, we are very concerned that the environmental impact assessment hasn't been completed before approval has been given for the go-ahead of a project of this type especially. So an oil refinery is a project with a major impact wherever that's done. And there's quite a good reason why there hasn't been a new oil refinery built in the U.S. since the 1970s. They are notoriously polluting industries and have, in general, pretty much without exception, a major environmental impact.
Press Secretary for the Prime Minister, Anthony Newbold, told reporters that a team from the Best Commission visited Grand Bahama last week to visit the proposed site for the $5.5 billion oil refinery project. McKinney-Lambert urged the government to be more transparent with the deal.
It does seem to be that the environment is not being given adequate consideration for this type of project. There's also a problem with lack of transparency. We don't know. We're getting information from what we are hearing in the press, and that to me is not adequate. It is really important that groups that have environmental information, environmental knowledge, BRIEF, BNT, and others are consulted as part of this project.
She added that she cannot support an oil refinery in the country at all.
We don't support having an oil refinery in the country, and it seems to contradict our stated commitment to renewable energy. The Bahamas is a country that should be known for the sun. We should be powered by the sun in this country, and having a deeply damaging and polluting industry can damage our Bahamian brand of being a clean, green, pristine location. So we do not support the oil refinery.
According to McKinney-Lambert, she has no confidence in the country's ability to handle oil spills if they were to occur. Reporting for Our News, I'm Giorgio Bain.
Thanks, Giorgio. Free National Movement Chairman Carl Culmer is hitting back at criticisms of government's handling of the proposed $5.5 billion O-ban Energies oil refinery project for East Grand Bahama. Culmer noted the fact that the government's missteps surrounding the O-ban deal has been dominating headlines, but he said there are a lot of detractors getting into the conversation.
I want those persons who try to make some mischief to just sit back and wait, and they will see a number of Bahamians getting involved and opportunities for Bahamians. And the FNM is not just about creating jobs. We're about creating opportunities for our Bahamian people, where we will see Bahamians being successful at projects and opportunities that we will create.
While delivering his contribution to the mid-year budget 2 weeks ago, Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis admitted government made a few missteps. His administration has since come under heavy fire from environmentalists as well as the opposition over the deal. But the FNM chairman insists the matter is not doing any damage to the party's reputation.
I've been getting calls from PLPs and DNAs who said, hey, we like where the country is going, we want to come on. What I would call 2 weeks ago from a DNA who wants to come over. So, the persons who are concerned about this country, who love this country, they see the change. They see, and change is not easy, eh?
Culmer said flat out that the only people complaining are those who have abused the system for years and can't accept real accountability.
persons cannot adopt to change, because if you're used to getting something for nothing, those persons who've been getting something for nothing over the many years will continue to complain because the gravy train has been cut. And as the Prime Minister and many of the our colleagues have saying, that we need to earn what is going on, rather than trying to get it for nothing. So you will get those complaints.
The Bahamas Contractors Association president is doubling down on his calls for more information and opportunities for Bahamian contractors at the Point Development in downtown New Providence. Just last month, the association's president, Leonard Sands, called for proof that 150 local contractors are employed on the project, as was stated by the developer, China Construction America. A month later, Sands says he's still waiting.
There and again, I'm seeing a reflection of a Bahama, not in terms of the type of project, but I'm talking about the complement of Bahamians employed on the workforce against what I see right now. I would like to invite the Minister of Works to share with the Bahamian Contractors Association their labor statistics for last month. Tell us what was the ratio of Bahamian workers on that project against quote-unquote non-Bahamian workers on the project.
Daniel Liu, the Point's president and a CCA vice president, told the Prime Minister and his cabinet during a tour of the project that 150 contractors have been hired thus far, with Bahamians comprising 1/3 of its professional management team.
We have formed an opinion that it is not of the 80-20 or even 60-40 complement that is so touted inside the heads of agreement. We would like to beg to differ on that.
The Contractors Association president says he must be fair and acknowledge that there are some Bahamians working on the project. He said he's also not criticizing CCA.
I know of a few very large firms that are engaged there. And out of those large Bahamian firms, I know their complement is Bahamians, but they are small and not, I think the misquote that Mr. Liu had said before, that there were hundreds of Bahamian contractors engaged in the project so far. No, there were, I think he meant to say there were hundreds of Bahamians engaged, but not contractors.
While Minister of Labour Dion Fowkes has called the Labour on the Block's job fair initiative a success that has secured employment for hundreds of workers, former Progressive Liberal Party Chairman Bradley Roberts says he sees things another way.
Dr. Minnis always talk about taking the country to the next level, as he puts it. He was providing internet service free for over the hill. The people there are still waiting for the delivery of that, and the other places that he also promised as well.
Roberts said he would like to see the promises made on the campaign trail fulfilled.
In the year 2018, we still having grown adults stand in line to pass in their application form with modern technology, with cell phones that people can dispatch information, to have grown-up parents stand on the line in the hot sun. It's just unbelievable.
A letter to the editor in the Nassau Guardian dated March 21st suggested that former Democratic National Alliance leader Branville McCartney, interim leader Chris Mortimer, and deputy leader Arinthia Komolafe should join the Progressive Liberal Party for the 2022 general election. Interim leader Chris Mortimer says he's pleased to be identified as an agent of change, but as for joining the PLP, perhaps not.
I think a lot of people, they want what's best for their country. And I'm humbled by the fact that they would single you out and say, listen, they believe that you can be a positive contributing factor to the growth of the country. So I'm happy about that. But as a party, I doubt that's going to happen. There are a number of things in which we stand for that was all laid out in our Vision 2017 and beyond. I don't think that those things line up with the philosophy of the PLP.
While Mortimer admitted that he can't see a possible DNA-PLP collaboration because of their differing beliefs, he said he found it interesting that Bahamians are already considering the next general election.
From my standpoint, the DNA, we will continue with what we've done. We have started something, and we're going to continue. And if we decide halfway through, then we won't be there. And the question is, what would have happened if the PLP decided to throw it in? Or the FNM decided to throw it in? They wouldn't be around today. And somebody's going to have to take the hard decision that we are going to be here regardless. And by doing that, you build a brand. You build a party, you build an organization that people can trust and respect. That you're not a carpetbagger who is only interested in their own selves. And at the first chance of getting in the House of Assembly, you will abandon your principles. Well, no.
Coming up after the break, tourism numbers are flying high. We'll have that and more when our news returns.